And hear the roar here inside Little Caesars Arena. We'll see the defending world champion Charlotte Hornets taking on the Detroit Pistons. We're wearing our costumes. We hope you are too. Happy Halloween as 2K Sports presents the NBA. Alongside Greg Anthony and Steve Smith with David Aldridge on the sideline, this is Kevin Harlan. All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court for the Hornets, we've got the Beast, Lee out there with lights out, and there's B-Train, and it's Rivers, and at the 5, roaming the paint. And it's Halloween, always fun early in the NBA season, Smitty, in the spirit of All Hallows Eve. Do you have any costumes you wore as a kid and ask yourself, what was I thinking when I put that on?
I think one year I was Casper the Ghost. And it really wasn't a costume, it was kind of this sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, but maybe it wasn't up to me. It was probably up to my mom and dad. They probably put me in there, but looking at those old pictures, I'm asking them, what were they thinking? Because I know what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. Here's Dumars, following the score by Charlotte. About a minute played so far here in the first. Here's Thomas, off target at the rim. Detroit on D. Tough loss coming against Cleveland in their last game played.
And no one expected them to win that game per se, but no excuse for the way that one ended up.
They just simply blew it. Hopefully that won't occur ever again now that they have that bad taste in their mouth.
And the bad boy Pistons, perhaps the greatest group this franchise has put together, and also one of the most memorable in the history of the NBA. Smitty, you played against some of those guys. What was that like?
Well, first of all, Kevin, I got a chance to grow up in Detroit, watching these guys, being around them, being able to practice. I mean, they were a total tight group. They had some great characters in Lambert and Rodman and Sally and Dumars and Isaiah and the microwaves.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
And how about just floating to the rim on that slam?
Boy, when he gets up, I mean, he gets up. Here's the Beast. He picked up 24 points in their last one against Orlando. Back to Lee. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. Pass to B-Train. Shot clock at 6. Power down with both hands.
Oh, fellas, that was a vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one.
But that's an excellent pass. On time, on target. Great teamwork.
If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. To the wing right side. Back to Joseph. And Thomas pulls it down.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
It's Dumars on the wing. Passes it to Worthy. The Pistons working the ball around now. Hill dishes to Lambert, and the shot goes in.
You know, that's another good play call. They are shooting 80% to start this game.
Now here's Rivers. And here is Joseph. And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. The pass to Wolf. Out to Lee. There's B-Train. Worthy defending. Joseph with the ball. Coming off a stellar performance against Orlando. Hill left side. The putback. And Beer. That shot off the mark. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
I tell you what, how efficient they were at scoring the basketball, especially for an away game, that was impressive.
They did a good job of controlling the tempo, playing at a speed that suits their offense.
Dumars the pass to Thomas. And there's Grant Hill on the assist by Thomas.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Here's the beast. Now Joseph. Out to the right wing. Six on the shot clock. There's the pick. From outside the arc. Bangs home the trifecta. The Beast's got 5. We've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
And guys, I think each team knows they can win this game. Just a matter who can catch that moment.
Back to Dumars. And no good that time. Good D by Lee. Back to Joseph. Lee outside. Here's the 3. And again, Charlotte with the triple.
Yeah, that's 2 straight 3-pointers they've allowed.
Pistons trailed by 5. Thomas down low. He's covered by Joseph. Thomas, no good. The Hornets have gone 6 of 8 in the game so far. A very solid start for them. They get it back.
How many times have you seen him do that? Losing focus on a simple lay-in.
Hill inside. Vader on the way. Lambira screen. The drive by Hill. Got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. Here's the Beast. He's guarded by Hill. That one falls. 7 points for the Beast.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Shot by Joseph. No good. Pistons trail by 7. Thomas kicks to Dumars. Outside Hill. Thomas goes in. They need this. And the layup is good. Ambier's got his second bucket of the game to go.
And this is the value of letting the play develop. You find the weakness in the defense.
There's B-Train. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Orlando.
And his rebounding was solid in that effort as well. He did a lot of work on the glass. All around it, just his effort level was off the charts.
To the inside. Back to Joseph. But Trey gets it to go from beyond the arc. Joseph's got 9 points.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triples.
Here's Hill. Goes back up. It's blocked. On the wing, Lee, covered by Dumars. And Lee with the basket on the assist from Joseph. And now it's a 10-point Hornets lead. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. Getting their first look at the season at this Hornets team.
And here we go. The first in what will be a 3-game season series between the 2 teams.
Both teams will be fighting hard in all these games. They can't split this series.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Andre Drummond's checked in for Lambeer. Wallace comes in for Worthy. Richard Hamilton's checked in for Hill. And Chauncey Billups is subbed in for Joe Dumars.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Rebound Andre Drummond. Pistons trail by 10.
When you see the frame on Andre Drummond, easy for me to see why he can shed off so many defenders inside. He's incredibly strong, hard to stop when he gets near the rim. This is what it means to be a catalyst. This offense helps set the tone for a lot of what they do.
Here's Dio. Lee dishes to Joseph. Grant, a screen on Thomas. Pass to Wolf. Launches it. Rebound by the Pistons. And the strength of Andre Drummond, you talked about it, Steve. It's not just upper body, but lower body as well. He can open up a lot of space if he gets the ball down low.
You know, once he gets in the paint, there's nothing you can do. His footwork off the block is coming along well. It's a process for him to refine his moves.
The Pistons shooting their second and third free throws tonight, and he makes the first. Garcia, he's checked in for Charlotte. That one misses. Charlotte leading by 7. Now let's find out what head coach Stan Van Gundy had to say to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Kevin, they have a specific approach to tonight's game. He told me they have to get the ball into the paint as much as possible and take advantage of what they believe is a big inch for them inside. We'll see if they're right about that tonight. Back to you.
Thank you, David. Wallace kicks to Thomas. Wallace a screen. Joseph against Thomas. 6 on the shot clock. That's tipped. Now here's Joseph. 9 points in the game so far. They set the pick. Lee goes in. Rebound by Wallace. And Black Hole's going to pick up a foul. That's his first foul. Harris is checked in for Isaiah Thomas. ABC's checked in for Charlotte. Phillips against Joseph. Phillips kicks to Drummond. Feeds it to Harris. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
And guys, there's a lot to like here defensively. That shot almost ends up in the stands.
And he was not quite in position to block the shot, but the result was all the same.
And here is Joseph. Outside, Garcia. Just 3 to shoot. Knocks down the 3 ball. And the Hornets lead by 12.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Phillips kicks to Harris. Stolen by Joseph. And stolen by Phillips. Harris against Garcia. Harris passes to Hamilton. Good. And Harris gets the assist.
And they repeatedly broke inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Passes it to Big Dog. Joseph against Phillips. Joseph with the ball. 9 points in the game so far. No good on the triple.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
Drummond the screen. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Harris dishes to Drummond. And it's tipped. Kicks to Joseph. With 2 seconds left. And the quarter ends with some stifling defense right there. And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. It's Charlotte. They're up by 10. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. Looking at what we... Hornets leading by 10. Andre Drummond is out there with Wallace. Then there's Richard Hamilton. Then there's Chauncey Billups. And it's Harris in at the 3 slot. They're the group Detroit will start the second with. Garcia against Harris. And plus, that one goes careening off the glass. Just 4 to shoot. Lyons hits the 3-point bomb. ABC's got the opening field goal of the second quarter for Charlotte.
Bad communication defensively. This is the last guy you want to leave open from there.
Nice shot by Hamilton.
And you can see there, the defender allows himself to get picked.
You know, it's all about effort. Sometimes you're going to get hit on hard screens. You just have to fight through them.
Outside, Garcia. Brand, a screen on Billups. Kicks it out to Garcia. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Just 5 to shoot. They set the pick. And another 3 for Charlotte.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Pistons trail by 14. The dish to Drummond. Pass to Billups. Drummond sets the screen for Billups. Back to Drummond. Misses off the left iron.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Drummond working against Campbell. Lions. And Garcia kicks to Brand. Over Billups. And sent back by Waltz. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And, well, Detroit shooting 39% from the floor. At their best. Now Billups. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Cleveland.
He also was very good distributing the basketball, keeping guys involved and engaged all night.
And stolen by Garcia. And Chauncey Billups gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Garcia inside. He's guarded by Billups. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. Here's Harris. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. And Tobias Harris, the former Tennessee Volunteer. You would think a player who has been so efficient, Steve, on offense his whole career wouldn't have bounced around as much as he has.
It is surprising how much he's changed teams. Always a factor on offense, and he doesn't need many touches. If I'm a coach, I love to have him as an option.
Hill, he's checked in for Detroit. Dumars comes in for Richard Hamilton. Pass to Gamble. Garcia inside. He's against Hill. Kicks it out to Garcia. Plenty of space. Push up that time. Not on target. And Detroit the other way now. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. That's a foul called on the Prophet. That'll be his second foul of the game. A different look here for Detroit. And Beers checked in for Wallace. And Worthy subbed in for Tobias Harris. And then for Charlotte, Rivers, he's checked in for Big Dog. And B-Train subbed in for Big Cat. Dishes it to Worthy. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
And Steve, free throws, not the most exciting aspect of the game, certainly, but they're a great way to put points on the board. Talk about the mentality for a score. You know, getting to the line and making that part of his game.
Kevin, if you're a scorer, you got to be able to knock down free throws, especially those days you're not shooting a high percentage from the field. But if you can get to the line 6 times, 7 times on your own, and you're shooting 85 to 90%, that gives you 5 or 6 points. And then you have a couple of technical fouls, and you can put another 2 points on there. You're talking about a guy as a scorer that are 9, we call it free points. Now you need a couple threes and a couple one-on-one moves. You're at 20, and everything else after that is gravy.
He was all alone on that one. And that's now 6 points for Hill.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
Here's Rivers. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Passes it to B-Train. Here's Campbell. Outside, Garcia. 6 to shoot. And another 3 for Charlotte.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Pistons trail by 14. Dumars kicks to Villas. Inside, it's tipped. And here is Campbell. They set the screen. Just 5 on the clock. Back to Garcia from deep three-point range. Rebound, Detroit. And Beer's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Here's Worthy. And yes, a nice assist from Phillips. Phillips has got 3 assists tonight. Now here's Rivers. So Charlotte calls timeout. They're first. Checked in for the Pistons. And a switch here also for Charlotte. The Beast is checked in for ABC. Campbell with it. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Hill. And we'll examine here how the distribution has been between 3-pointers and 2-pointers tonight for the Hornets.
It really struck a nice balance between long-range shooting and also attacking the rim. That keeps the defense off balance and keeps things flowing offensively.
And Worthy throws it down.
And on the defensive side, just a failure to match up.
Well, the one thing you want to take away is anything at the rim. Just too easy.
Now Campbell. And the pass to B-Train. Here's Wolf. Down low. Poked away and stolen by Worthy. He feeds it to Thomas. And he makes the bucket, drew contact, and gets the whistle too.
Yeah, they've raised their shooting percentage in this quarter, and they're starting to get on track.
And the Hornets making a change here. Lee's checked in.
You know when you see a Stan Van Gundy team, you know that defense will be a key for them. He has handpicked his players here in Detroit. It is one of Van Gundy's trademarks, as well as what the Pistons franchise has been known for.
The feed to Rivers, down to 5 on the shot clock, and that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession.
Yeah, tremendous hustle just to get a hand on that one.
Reads the play, quick reaction, almost comes up with that steal.
And the Hornets making a change here. Joseph's checked in. And Smitty, you actually played under Stan Van Gundy when you were with the Heat. What was it like playing for him as a coach?
Well, he demands a lot from you, but he's fair. He's a great X and O coach. But the one thing about Stan you have to get used to is all the screaming.
Here's Worthy. And it's Rivers with the rebound. Rivers has got rebound number 5 here tonight.
Way up there.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark.
An agile play to get his hand in there and get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break. And checking out the numbers for Joseph, last season he played outstanding. Averaged 33 points a game. 15 assists and over 4.5 steals a game. What incredible numbers. He has been a beast.
You know what? Everything is coming so easy for him right now, operating on the highest level.
And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
And that's a tough one. But on those illegal screen calls, the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Some guys, they just know how to get away with it, and some don't.
Rivers kicks to Joseph. On the wing, Lee. Back to Joseph. Charlotte moving it around. The 3. Worthy with the rebound.
And just not able to find the target from three-point range here in the second quarter, although he did knock down one in the first.
Thomas kicks to Dumars. Lambier a screen. Off the screen. He can't get it to go. Good D by Lee. Charlotte leading by 11. Elbow shot is on the way. Feeds to Joseph. Pass to Wolf. Three-pointer. But they'll get another chance. And out of bounds. The Pistons will take it. Hey, Clark, while we have a moment, let's show you the list of players who put up the most points last year. And you look at Joseph, leading the league in points per game. Such a great player. And, of course, Blackford, just 2 spots down. Another guy who can get a lot of points, top 5.
And what an option either of those two guys give you. They're both excellent safety valves when an offense is struggling. And not a great start for him in the first, but he's quickly starting to turn it around.
Here's Joseph. He's got 11. Reverses screen on Thomas. Back to Joseph. There's the pick. Out to the wing. Lee outside. He kicks to Rivers. Back to Lee. It's deflected. Outside Hill. Shot from the low block. And the rebound goes to the Hornets.
Just strong work defensively there in the low post. You got to be tough down in the paint.
He did a nice job of keeping him off the block, didn't let him get deep post position.
Screen by Lee. Passes it to Wolf. Fires from deep. Again, the miss by Lee.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
So against the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Smee, there are those players you worry that if they hit a couple in a row, man, they begin to heat up, and then they get in that microwave category where they can heat up in a hurry and watch out.
Those guys, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, Jamal Crawford, Kyle Korver, those guys, when they get on the roll, they keep going over and over and over, and they are seeking shots. Steph Curry, there's a list goes on and on. I love watching when they get hot.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hornets. Big Dog, he's checked in for Rivers. Big Cat comes in for B-Train. And it's Garcia in for the Beast. Joseph, the pass to Lee. Kicks it out to Garcia. Shot clock at 5. Charlotte needs to get a shot. There's the 3. And it's Lee, that time on the assist by Brand. 14 points for Black Hole.
Yeah, you see the killer instinct. He's going for the death blow.
True story. They got a monster league that's taking a life of its own.
And the basket by Hill.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
There's 1:26 left here in the second. And here is Joseph. He's got 11. Now the pass to Big Dog. 6 to shoot. And he banks in the layup. Big Dog's got his first 2 points.
Punishing the smaller man inside. Just good fundamental basketball.
Hamilton against Lee. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Kicks it to Joseph. Lets it go with a 3. That one falls through. It's his 6th make from the floor this game. Now 6 for 10.
And those aren't the type of three-point opportunities that you can allow in the NBA.
And Thomas, here we go. Yep, that one goes in there. Thomas got 5 points now this quarter.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
To the left wing. Back to Joseph. They double him with Drummond. Here's Dio. Brand kicks to Joseph. Outside, Garcia. Lee dishes to Brand. And it's Brand with the jam.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. And so it's the Charlotte Hornets. 13 points up at the end of the period.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny. After the first 2 quarters of play, it's Charlotte in control. They have a 13-point lead. And Big Fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
I don't think anyone expected to see such numbers from the bench. You know, I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep them.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Welcome back, everyone. The lights of Motown reflecting brightly off the Detroit River. Hornets leading by the 4 for the Hornets. We've got B-Train. Lights out there with Lee. And it's the Beast. And it's Rivers in its center. Pass to B-Train. Charlotte moving the ball around. Clock at 6. From downtown, here's Wolf, right wing. Lee passes to Joseph. There's the pick. Back to Lee. From deep. Rebound by the Pistons. Ambier's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Dumars kicks to Thomas. Lambier screen. Thomas down low. He's covered by Joseph. Thomas, no good.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with River.
Pass to Wolf from downtown. Wilkes. Great positioning on the putback. And the Hornets lead by 15.
Well, you need to start somewhere. After 4 straight misses this half, let's see if this gets them going.
Thomas dishes to Dumars. Stolen by Joseph. And stolen by Thomas. Got a piece of it.
You know, I like the competitive fire, but he's still really out of sync.
Lee passes to Wolf. He dishes it to Joseph. Pass to Lee. It's stolen by Hill. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Hill's got 14.
And just carrying over from his last game. Completely dialed in. You can sense his confidence.
I totally agree. Heat check after heat check. He realizes, man, I'm still hot.
Here's Wilkes. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Now, Smitty, be honest. When you're watching these games on TV or in person, how much do you miss playing the game?
You know I do, Kevin. I've always had that in my bones. But I think as of now, the last 2 or 3 years, as a guy that can shoot the ball a little bit, I wonder and dream and pray if I could have got a chance to shoot 15, 18 threes. So I love it, but I know when my time is over, but I would love to shoot that many threes.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
They set the pick. Joseph, the pass to B-Train. Knocked away. Stolen by Thomas. And even 3-on-3 break. Got a hand on it, and they'll keep possession. And it's good, 2 points. Got a piece of it. Lambier against Rivers. Now here's Joseph. 14 points for him. Wolf passes to Rivers. Joseph against Thomas. Joseph, that's good.
And a high percentage look there, and he takes full advantage. Bumps up the lead.
Yeah, the league now is double digits. Some tricky matchups out there. Not a lot of solutions.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. Without question, lights out displaying his skills today.
He is on a major roll today. This timeout was desperately needed. They've got to come up with a new game plan designed to shut him down.
For the Pistons, Wallace comes in for James Worthy. And Chauncey Billups is subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. Here's Joseph, and it comes off the front of the rim. Pistons trail by 15. Outside Hill. Now the dish to Billups. Outside Dumars. Floats one, and it's blocked. But they get it back. Clock at 4. Basket good. Hill's got 16. Here's B-Train. There's the pick. Lee outside. Joseph against Billups. And there's the pass to Wolf. Lee outside. Clock at 6. Lays it up off the glass. 16 points for him.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
With this big of a deficit in the score, you'd think the losing team would be playing harder. Nope, the opposite.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
When your defense translates into offense, it's a beautiful thing.
Dumars kicks to Wallace. The shot, no good. And it's the Hornets taking it the other way. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand. Dishes to Joseph. Screen by Lee. There's the screen. Here's Wolf. Off target from 3-point range.
Trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but thus far, not working.
You know what? At some point, you have to decide. Do you keep pressing the issue, or do you focus on setting up others?
And count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
And the Pistons making a change here. Harris is checked in. Pistons trail by 20. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Wallace outside. Just 5 to shoot. Harris misses.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Joseph. Count it. Joseph's got 20.
Mr. Dependable tonight, helping them grow this lead.
And, well, Detroit shooting an ugly 27% since halftime. Billups dishes to Dumars. To stop the run. Got a piece of it.
And with him missing literally everything he's put up today, you can see why the score is what it is.
Early in this quarter, he's been aggressive and selective with his shots. Tremendous efficiency.
Billups with the ball. Looking for his first basket still in this one. He feeds it to Harris. Lets it go from 11. Harris missing again.
Yeah, it just seems whatever they do, nothing's working right now to stop the bleeding.
It takes an effort on both ends of the floor, and you have to find the right matchups to exploit.
Here's Rivers. Harris on the double team. Joseph, the pass to Wolf. That one goes. Count it. The Beasts got 9 points.
And the point differential tells the story. Their two-way play has been outstanding.
You know, it's a matter of effort plus talent. You need both to dominate this way.
Wallace with a screen for Harris. That's tipped. Lee against Dumars.
Oh, wow, nice.
I mean, just beautiful.
I totally agree.
And so far, they have been in complete control of this one. Just a well-rounded effort on the road.
You know what they've done? They've been aggressive on both ends. That's showing up on the scoreboard.
Stolen by Joseph. And oh, here we go. Joseph's got it. The fast break chance. And Rivers gets it to go in on the assist from Joseph.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Joseph against Billups. The feed to Dumars. Lampier with a screen on lead. Again, the miss by the Pistons.
They've shown some strength in the paint today.
Oh,
No, he didn't.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. Dumars kicks to Billups. And it goes down 2 points.
Playing big, willing to go toe-to-toe against the guy who towers over him.
And did you see the separation he got? It's an art, creating that kind of space.
Here's B-Train. Charlotte calls timeout.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to kind of regroup and discuss ways to maximize these possessions.
The reason why is you like to get value every time down the floor. But that does take a lot of discipline.
Andre Drummond's checked in for the Pistons. Hamilton comes in for Joe Dumars. Charlotte also making some changes. Big Dog is checked in for Rivers. Big Cat comes in for B-Train. And it's Garcia in for the Beast. Screen by Brand. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Lee. And they force the shot clock violation. Great team. And here's the shot chart as we see how things are going for him.
And looking at this shot chart, you can't help but feel that this entire team has played passively on offense. There has been little to nothing going on at the rim or in the paint for that matter. And when you don't attack the defense and put pressure on them down low, you are making life far too easy.
Charlotte's gotten off to a very slow start from three-point range in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Garcia can't get it to go.
Just great at getting after it defensively, forcing guys into tough shots.
Yeah, to be successful, you've got to protect the paint. He rises to that challenge.
And taking a look at some of the stats here for Lee. Great showing for him last season. Second in scoring, second in free throw percentage. And you look at his three-point field goal percentage. How about top 10 in the league? He did not miss often.
And seeing what he did last year, just blowing up the defensive schemes designed to keep him under control, man. As you said, second best scorer in the league. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Screen by Brand. This one for 3. Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession. Here is the 2K leaderboard with the list of last season's top three-point shooters. And you look at Joseph, he's absolutely deadly from outside. And of course, ABC, he's another player that shoots it extremely well from outside.
What shooting we saw from him all season. I mean, I'd love to see these guys in a game of horse. They'd probably be draining shots from midcourt.
Now here's Billups. He's covered closely. Drummond a screen. Fires for 3. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Charlotte in total control. Now Campbell. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Tries to snap the cold streak. 5 to shoot. Over in the corner, Brand. And they'll turn over. Did not get off a shot. 24-second violation. Pistons shooting 39% from the floor. Not their best. To the paint. And a dunk by Worthy.
And the passer floated it up to the precise spot it needed to be.
And no messing around on the finish. He powers it through. And here is Campbell. Feeds it to Brand. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. Detroit's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Out left to the wing. Here's Worthy. Thomas gets a wide open look. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Thomas got 14 points.
Good eyes by Drummond. He's working on this. Spots the open man, delivers the dime.
Garcia goes in. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
And you can't end the period any better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Shot clock doing his thing. He times it out perfectly.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. It's Charlotte opening up a huge gap. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
You're gonna have to help and flow, not just...
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Detroit with the ball. Thomas is out there with Richard Hamilton. Then it's Ennis. Then there's Andre Drummond. And it's Randall in at the 4. That's the group for Detroit right now. Outside Thomas. 6 on the shot clock. Down low. Drummond. Foul on the play. Basket down. So it'll be a 3-point play chance.
Flexing the power. Drummond takes the hit, finishes through it. Quintuple and 1.
For several years, you've looked at Andre Drummond, and the first word that comes to mind is potential. He is still learning, still developing, certainly, but, you know, you wonder, Steve, if he's starting to approach the type of player he's going to be in Plateau.
You know, let's be clear. He's a great player, but people might have overshot what he could have been. Needs to play with a bit more urgency, but he's still young, and he can make another leap in his play.
Here's Campbell. Out to the right wing. Right side, Garcia. Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Pass to Campbell for 3. Offensive rebound. Over to the wing. Lions the pass to Garcia. He kicks to Brand. Campbell with it. Well, Steve, it's something that everyone has a different opinion on. How do you feel about the current amount of years a player has to play in college before they enter the NBA draft?
Well, Kevin, I look at it this way. I like the notion that people have been throwing around that you're able to come out of high school and go to the NBA. But if you choose to go to college, you must play 2 years. So I'm leaning toward and researching and looking at that. I think I'm on board with that because there are some guys should have the opportunity straight out of high school, and there are some guys I think need college. So I think if they can balance that out, and I think that's the way I would be leaning.
I like that instead.
And a lot to like about that play, particularly how it ends.
Yeah, at the rack. That's what you want in transition, a high percentage look.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Worthy's checked in for Julius Randle. Hill comes in for Ennis, and it's Dumars in for Richard Hamilton. Garcia goes in. Good work defensively by Worthy.
Yeah, the aggressive D inside leads to a missed opportunity there.
You know, he had terrific position, does a good job of affecting the shot without fouling.
Here's Drummond. Another shot. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
Hard not to bite on Drummond's pump fake. You have to get up quick to have any chance to contest this shot.
And both free throws good for Drummond. Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Here's Campbell. To the paint, here's Brand, and then Brand with the dunk.
Oh, and how about squeezing the orange as tight as he could there before the stuff?
Yeah, no way he's going to lose that thing on the way up. Outside, Garcia. It's stolen by Hill. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. That's good from Thomas on the assist by Hill.
And the steal then right into the fast break. Great awareness.
Perfect read. Takes a chance, certainly pays off.
Outside, Garcia. Now Campbell kicks it to Brand. Passes it to Campbell. He dishes it to Garcia. And the initial rules for the NBA include that 6 personal fouls is the magic number before you're done for the game. It's been this way since, who can remember. But do you think 6 is the right number, Steve, for fouls? Or would you like to see them raise or lower it?
I definitely wouldn't want to see them raise it. I think 7 would be too much. Maybe if they lower it, that's a possibility. But right now, I think it's 6. Maybe 5. Maybe you can experiment during some preseason games or in summer league. But I think 6 should be the maximum.
Shot clock at 6. Here's Thomas. That shot is in, just like 6 others have been for him. He's shooting 7 for 15.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Campbell against Thomas. And here is Campbell. The pass to Lyons. The dish to Brand. It's deflected. And the call will go against Big Cat. That's his first. The Pistons making a change here. Harris is checked in. Rivers, he's checked in for Charlotte. B-Train comes in for Big Cat. Campbell against Thomas. And Thomas with the stop.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wynn.
Well, this is where he shows both skill and body control along with the attack mindset.
Campbell against Thomas. Charlotte calls timeout. Well, the NBA has taken great strides to ensure a competitive balance, Steve, over the past decades, but they have a long way to go to achieve complete parity. I don't know that it can ever be done. How do you feel about the current competitive balance of the league right now?
Well, I think it's good, but Kevin, you're totally right. You can't get complete parity. You're going to have injuries, and I think when you have injuries, it changes the whole dynamic of these teams. So far, so good for me. I think there's a lot of balance. Good teams are good for a while, and then it always shifts and changes. I think we're in good hands right now.
Oh, he is a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
That could be a contender for the dunk of the year, I think. Pass to Hill. Well, in the last half-decade or so, the NBA, Steve, has realized the true value of the corner 3, and now offenses all over the league are designed to take advantage of it. Part of that is because it's just closer to the rim than any other three-pointer.
Yeah, you're right, and you should. I mean, when you have a three-point arc, yes, the corner threes are going to be shorter, and it's harder from a guy to shoot from straight on. But when you have a guy that can shoot it straight on, you can see the dynamics of a team defensively. It's hard to cover. But I don't think the NBA should widen the court because of the value of the corner 3. That's a part of the game.
Should the lane be widened? We talked about the court and making all the threes the same length. What about the lane?
Well, I think you can widen the lane if you change the defensive rules, because right now you're allowed to play zone. If you went back to man-to-man, yes, I think you should widen it. But when teams are allowed to play zone, I think the value of keeping it the same helps the defense a little bit more.
Thomas, good.
He has flat out dominated this quarter, hitting shots at will, yet they still find themselves behind.
Thomas against Campbell. There's a screen. Out to the wing. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Worthy's checked in for Wallace. Charlotte also making some changes. Lee's checked in for Garcia. And it's Joseph in for Campbell. Doubled by Lee. There's Thomas with the 3. Hornets with the rebound. B-Train's got 8 rebounds in this game.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Here's Joseph, and it's good. He's made 2 for every 1 he's missed. 10 of 15 in the contest.
Still attacking, building on this lead coming down the stretch.
And he's doing it efficiently, taking makeable shots. That's led to a high percentage from the field.
Here's Thomas. It's deflected. Oh, and here comes Joseph all alone. And the dunk by Joseph.
And how's that for a one-man show? Put this fella on Broadway.
The most magnificent alley-oop we could have seen. Dumars dishes to Thomas. Back to Dumars. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet.
Taking a workman-like approach inside. That's the shot you want.
And across the NBA, we've seen players taking a vocal stance on various social issues. Smitty, you think that's pretty important?
Very important, and I think this generation has done it better than my generation. Obviously speaking out, but yes, they're using their social media tools to come out and talk about important issues. The one thing you just want to bring light to these issues, and hopefully a lot of people, the more light you bring, the more solutions I think will come about.
Well said.
Yeah, well, I mean, once he gets the ball, it's just off to the races.
And you have to like the punctuation at the end of it. Great individual play.
Charlotte calls timeout. And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game. Lights out.
Yeah, it's his job to keep their offense ticking, and tonight he's earned his keep. He's been able to find open teammates everywhere, feeding the post, creating open jump shots on the perimeter. His passing has been the best element of his game.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. Here's what Charlotte's going with right now. Big Dog, he's checked in for Rivers. Big Daddy comes in for B-Train. And it's Garcia in for the Beast. Thomas kicks to Hill. Lambira screen. Hill against Garcia. And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets. This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Now here's Joseph. Thomas with the steal. And here we go. The Pistons fast break. Lays it up off the glass. Thomas got 17 points here in the second half.
And we talk about this a lot. Turnovers leading to transition points.
I love the anticipation right there for the pick. Then he wastes no time getting up court.
The first one falls. You always hear about a player working extra hard in the offseason when they're approaching free agency, or how much truth is there to the idea, Steve, of a player doing more in a contract year, trying harder?
Well, you're here. I mean, you're here teammates. You're here guys, competitors. You're here us analysts saying, you know when there's a contract year for a lot of guys, and you look at a guy putting in a little bit more effort. I think the guy that you respect the most is when they play the same way all the time, whether it's the contract year or the first year. A lot of guys do ramp it up and make more shots when it's a contract year.
But that's human nature, don't you think? I mean, if you know there's a prize at the end, the harder you work. If there's a big test at the end of the week, you study harder. I would just think that's just human nature.
It is, and I think for instance, the teams and general managers, you have to do your homework to understand the type of player that you're paying for a long time.
Big Dog, the pass to Joseph. There's a good screen. 6 to shoot. Lee gets the bucket.
Yeah, not a perfectly set screen there, but got in just enough room to get that shot off.
Down low, trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Fires from 14. Dishes it to Joseph. And Thomas over to Hill. Back to Joseph. The second chance effort, and the layup is good. Joseph's got 30.
I mean, he's just been brilliant today, guys, and it was the same exact story last time out. And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Hornets.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Joseph.
What I like that he came ready to compete in this game, but he did it under control. Tremendous poise, never seemed to be in a hurry, just played the game the right way.
That's good from Thomas. So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Drummond's checked in for Lambeer. Wallace comes in for Worthy. Harris is checked in for Grant Hill. And Hamilton subbed in for Joe Dumars. Fresh is checked in for Charlotte. Oriaki comes in for Joseph.
And how much longer are they going to keep that foot on the accelerator?
Well, this is less about winning the game now and more about making a bold statement.
Thomas kicks to Harris. Lee with the steal. And Lee's running. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a 3-point play.
That's good.
That's on Isaiah Thomas.
And in as hostile an environment as you're going to see, they found ways to step up time and time again.
You know, playing away from home, it's easy to get out of sync. Instead, they focused and dominated.
Harris kicks to Thomas. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Shot clock at 6. Outside Harris. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
Difficult to stop inside. Harris with the excellent feel and touch around the basket.
Lee, and oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Andre Drummond picks one up. First one falls for him. And both free throws good for Lee. 5 seconds left to play in the final quarter. So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Steve Smith, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew,